Hi everybody, I'm smoking my Mississippi MEERSCHAUM, and in it I've got some BS White, a Balkan copy from the Danish pipe shop. And this is a VR to the Pipe Professor's 1000 sub GAW, who asked us to do a review of tobacco blend, and I thought I would do a review of this. I'm not that good at reviews because I do have a problem with the sense of smell, which naturally affects my taste, but we'll see how we get on. Sorry, I quite like that. Right, I'll go to the tin note first. The smell I get is sort of stable smell, you know, a horse stable. You can very definitely smell the latakia. And I think I'm picking up some of the Virginia, which is a slightly more, what I would call a composty smell. You know, fresh cut grass, that kind of thing. It's a very, let me see if I can put some in the jar so you can have a look at the tobacco. They do two different blends. They do this one, and then they do a copy of the 579. There we are. So you can see it's a very rich blend. You've got the Orientals in there, which is the lighter greenish blend things. You've got the Virginia in there. You've got some Cavendish and Kentucky. So it's Cavendish, Kentucky, Latakia and Oriental, and then Virginia. So Virginia's the lowest stuff one in there. The other blend they do of a similar type is the Balkan Sobrani 579, BS 579 from the Danish pipe shop. And you'll notice if I put them up together that the 579 is much darker, very much darker. And that's Cavendish, Kentucky. Sorry, that's Cavendish, Latakia and Virginia. So and Orientals. And that smells very much stronger of the Latakia. So it's very much Latakia forward. In fact, they both are really, I think. The initial lighting, it was, you got a bit of the sweet smell, sweet taste of the, I assume, of the Virginia. But very soon the Latakia and the Orientals take over. I'm not going to compare it with the Sobranis because I don't think that would be fair. And because I haven't got Sobrani here and I haven't tasted it recently anyway. But it is a blend that I particularly like. I do like Latakia blends, I like Orientals, and I like a very strong nicotine hit. I've got a high nicotine tolerance. So I think this is going to be fairly strong, but I don't know because it doesn't have the effect on me that it would on some people. Sorry, with talking it's difficult to keep it going. when you first open the tin, it's quite a dry tobacco. Not over dry, but it is on the dry side. But that does make it much easier to smoke and keep a lighter, although you wouldn't think so from the moment. The retrohale, you do get some of the Virginia. But it is a very oriental blend. It's what I would call an evening smoke, or a smoke when you want to spend time with it. Although having said that, I have smoked it all day, sometimes, at any time of the day. I love Balkan blends, and this is very much a Balkan, although they class it as an English blend, but then I think so many blends, the Balkans and the English, are very much interchangeable. I think one of the problems you have in the States when you mention an English blend is that you have burley in a lot of them, and in England we don't. So some of the English blends that I've had from America have a slightly different taste. They're still considered English, but not as I would say that's an English blend. You get absolutely no tongue burn with this, or at least I haven't. But you get that nice aftertaste in the mouth. It's sort of quite a creamy taste, I think, in the sense that it's, creamy, thick. It's more of a thick taste than some of the tobaccos, which are very much lighter. And you can see it's got that lovely whitish grey smoke. And if you look at the ash, it's whitish grey, almost cigar-like in some ways. But it does smoke right down, so you don't get any dottle in the bottom, which is nice. It's a blend that I've really taken to, and I've bought some for my cellar, and I think this would value from cellaring. If you could get some years on this, I think it would be really nice. And with the other blend, the 579 blend, they could both do with some aging, but they're both very pleasant as it is. Maybe not as smooth as they would be with age. I'm not going to go on too long with this because there's a limited amount that I can say about it. The rum notes, tolerable. Because as you know, I smoke in the house with my wife sat beside me, and she's never commented on this kind of blend. One of the blends she did comment on was an aromatic. I think it was actually hobbit weed, and sort of said, "Oh, what's that?" Once in a very good way, but once in a, ooh, don't like that. And I did point out to her that she said before that she did like it. But this is the kind of blend that I would smoke often. And today, when I was deciding which one I was going to do, I was going to do the 5979, but I've got less of that. Because I choose to smoke that one more than this one. But both are very pleasant. So I think that's about all I can say about it. If you like Oriental blends, then you'll probably like this. If you like 10 Russians, for example, are quite a strong blend, then I would think that you would like this. It's certainly a good substitute if you can't get Balkan Sobrani. And we know that the black tin is very difficult to get, even if you can still get it, if you can find it anywhere. The thing I want to sort of commend to you is the Danish Pipe Shop, because they have a lot of their own blends. And it's worth spending time actually reading what it says about each of the blends, because the temptation is to just pass over them. But they have a lot of good copies. They have a lot of blends that are made for individuals and made for the family of the blender and of the Danish Pipe Shop. So that's about it. I hope that's enough of a review. As I say, I'm not good on reviews. So I would say, as we all say, you know, this is a personal opinion of a tobacco that suits me. I love the taste in the mouth afterwards, sort of when you've, you know, like now. And I like the retrohale. In fact, I like everything about these two blends. If I could get some age on them, as I said before, I think they would be a really beautiful smoke. And so I've got them I've got a tin of each in my cellar, but I intend to get more. It's one of the blends that I will continue to smoke, I think. The problem with getting too many is if you suddenly go off them. Right, I'll leave it there. You wanted 2 shout-outs, and I'm not going to shout out 2 newer members. I'm going to shout out 2 established members, or fairly established. One's a fairly new member, one's a very established one. I want to shout out Happy-Go-Lucky Piper. If you haven't subbed to his channel, I suggest you do. He's a very soft-spoken, very beautiful man. And I mean that in the best sense of the word beautiful. He looks what he is. You know, a very learned, holy man, in the sense that he's a rabbi, and he looks as you'd expect a rabbi to look. But he really is the happy-go-lucky piper. He has some lovely videos, and he's someone I admire tremendously. The other one is Joshua of the Woods. Now, I would guess most of you will already be subbed to him, I don't know. But Joshua of the Woods, again, appeals to my spirituality. And in fact, I think we've got a very close spirituality. He's very much a woodsman in the sense of he loves the countryside. He loves the outdoors. he loves being in the mountains and the woods. And I think that's a lot to do with his heritage and his background. And in fact, he's just produced his own blend, a mixture of two other blends called Sacred Mountain. And it's exactly what I'd expected him to call it. And one of the things that he pointed out is that it looks like the earth that he walks. So I really do suggest, if you haven't posted sub to those two, that you do so. They don't post as often as some of us, but when they do post, it's worth listening to. And when Joshua posts, again, he's that gentle, spiritual person who knows his subjects, knows his tobacco, his heart, and so does Happy-Go-Lucky Piper. I hope that's not too long, and I hope it's all right, Professor, for your GAW. I'm going to end in the usual way I end. May you be richly blessed. May God's blessing pour upon you. May his blessing bring you wealth and happiness and unity with him. And may your God, whatever your faith or whatever lack of faith you have, go with you.